Welcome back to another FIFA 22 custom tactics and player instructions video. Today's the 451 is a top 200, so obviously pro player custom tactics and instructions. So top 200, very good level. That is why I'm showing you these here, slightly adjusted by myself. I've sort of messed around with them in games, sort of changed them slightly, just something they're a bit more suitable to normal players who obviously aren't top 200 because they have some weird stuff they do and it doesn't really work every time. So pretty much top 200 though. So pro player, let's get straight into it and not waste any more time. So the defensive style, we're going to be sticking with balance, and it's obviously quite an attacking formation, the 4-5-1, but you don't want to play it too attacking because you're just going to be completely open to a counter attack, and it's just not going to work out for you. So we're going to sort of mix the tactics and instructions more defensive, because then we've got the attackingness of the formation, if that's a word, but it sort of mixes together to make it more balanced in general. So we've got attacking formation, defensive tactics, and it works well together. So defensive style, we're using balanced. Let me just check this up. Yeah, so balanced 50 width and 45 depth. Trying to keep the shape as much as possible. If we bring it too narrow or push it too wide, too high up or anything like that, we're sort of going to mess players up. We're going to move them around too much, and when you get the ball back, you're going to have to change the shape again. So we're going to try and keep it as much as possible to its shape. Defensive style balance, 50 width and depth on 45. No need for a press in this formation because it's quite attacking as it is already, and you don't want to draw too many players forward, especially your centre-backs. If you draw them forward, they're going to be completely open for your opponents just to run straight through the middle. Defensive style, build-up play, we're going to be using fast build-up. Probably one of my favourite things to use this year, especially in the 4-1-2-1-2 second formation. But also on this formation, it works really well. And the chance creation, the only thing you should be using this year, is just the meta this year. That's all you can explain it as. It's that simple. Direct passing. Every single formation you should be using direct passing. It is so good. I don't know anyone who doesn't use this, and it's just, there's no reason not to use it. It's just so simple. I don't really know how to explain it, but it just works so well. Trust me, guys. If you're not using this already, you have to be using this. It's pretty much the key to be getting wins on this game currently. It makes a huge difference to your gameplay. You will notice it if you switch to it. And if you've been using it already, you'll know what I mean. With width, we're going to be sticking on 50. For the players in box, we're actually going to be bringing it down to 4. Normally, I play it quite high on about 6 or 7, but today, I'm going to be using 4. And I'll show you why in a second. That is due to the player instructions I'm going to be putting on, which we're sort of going to be manually choosing who we want into the opposition box, rather than using it just the slider over here. So players in box on 4, corners on 2, and free kicks on 2, just like so. So now for the player instructions, I recommend your striker, balanced width, getting behind, and also basic defense support. I normally say stay forward, but we're going to be using basic defense support because there's only one striker. There's quite a big gap, so there's no cams helping out the defense as well, just sitting behind the striker. And balanced width because there's only one striker. So balanced width, getting behind, and basic defense support. So he's sometimes coming a little bit back to defend, but not all the time. We've got a lot of attacking players. We don't want them stuck up the pitch because then we're going to have no one to help out defending. So these two cams here, you do have cams, but they're not sitting just behind the striker. They're sort of more, they're closer to the wingers than the other striker. For these, stay forward, basic defense support again, and then get into the box across. So you want these two players to be always getting into the box. So both these players get into the box across, and then leave basic defense support on. So they are also coming back sometimes when defending, not all the time, but sometimes when they are needed, which can be quite helpful. For the left mid and right mid, for these I recommend stay forward. You've already got fullbacks, and you don't want your left mid and right mid dropping too far deep. Then you're going to have the whole formation coming back. You want a few players like I've just showed you, but the left mid and right mid you do want to stay forward on these. Chance creation, I recommend balanced width. A lot of people use cut inside, but you really want to try and use the width of the pitch, especially in this formation. Get crosses into the box. You've got enough narrow plays as it is. You can cut inside manually if you want to, but balanced width is what I'm going to be using. And then just leave the rest default. If you want to use getting behind, you can do. If you want to use get into the box across, you also can do, but I'm just going to leave these two default as it gives you the most freedom on the ball and when attacking. For your right mid, I'm going to do the exact same as the left mid, stay forward, and the rest default. For your centre mid, probably the most important position on this formation. He's sort of the key to everything. Pretty much it is that simple. So you've got your, I'll basically show you what I mean. He's the only player in the middle of the pitch. It is that simple is what I'm saying. He needs to get the ball to the striker, to the two cams out wide. He's pretty much the main distributor, so you need to make sure your centre mid is a very good player. So cover centre, so he's sitting in the centre and not drifting that wide, staying in this position. And stay back or attacking, so he's staying in the centre mid position, but he's not pushing into the opposition box because that's really going to mess stuff up. And also stay on edge of box across just to ensure he's not going to be doing that at any point. For the two centre backs, always leave default. For your fullbacks, I recommend stay back or attacking, and then just leave the rest default. If you want to play with attacking fullbacks, you've got very fast fullbacks, good attacking fullbacks, and you want them overlapping, make sure it's on balanced attack, but make sure you have overlap on as well. That's very important. But I just recommend default with stay back or attacking on both your fullbacks. They're staying back in the defensive line. When you've already got wide players, I don't see much need in having attacking fullbacks, so that's why I'm going to be sticking with that. For the goalkeeper, comes across is your keeper's coming off his line more to defend corners and crosses. And sweeper keeper, being more aggressive, coming outside his box and challenging the opponent for loose balls And through balls, that's everything for this video, guys. That's the 451. If you have any questions or comments, just let me know in the comments down below. I'll reply as quickly as possible. But that is top 200 pro player, a sort of balanced 451, custom tactics and instructions. I hope you have a good rest of your day. It'll be greatly appreciated if you could subscribe. It really, really does help the channel out at the moment. But anyway, thank you for watching. Enjoy using this. Have a good rest of your day. Goodbye.